It's from Jason Barnes of the Office of Congresswoman Brownley. Jason?
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I spoke to Francine about this committee or board, and I was thought it would be a great opportunity to come and tell a little bit about what we do in the district office, especially with senior concerns. So we focus primarily on casework pertaining to any constituent having an issue with federal agencies. If if you or someone you know is experiencing a problem with Social Security, Medicare, or healthcare in general, or any other federal agency, IRS, USCIS, by all means, please have them contact our office. Francine has my contact information, and I'd be more than happy to give my business card to anyone who would like it after the meeting. And thank you. I appreciate being here and you having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'd now like to turn the program over to Vice Chair Healy for Commissioner reports.
Our first Commissioner report today will be on health, and it will be given by Commissioner Allen.
Thank you, Nancy. Or Commissioner Healy. Thank you for starting. As a nurse, I thank you very much for now having a commission and report on health. The topic I chose today, since it is flu season coming up, is to get a flu shot. And there's a lot of reasons that you should get a flu shot, and there's a lot of misinformation out there about the benefits or the risks of getting a flu shot. And I know even some senior nurses who believe those myths. But it's very important as a senior, and as a senior, I have several of my friends who take care of their grandkids. So it's not only the senior that needs the flu shot, it's the grandkids that need the flu shot. And anyone under over 6 months or under 4 years should definitely have a flu shot, because as you know, when they go to different places like preschool and everything, they come home with all those little bugs. And it's not just to prevent you getting the flu, it's also prevent you being an agent that passes the flu on to others unknowingly. So especially if you have any kind of pre-existing conditions, they can worsen if you get the flu, and you can get anything from an ear infection complication of the flu to real dire consequences, especially as we age. We all think that we're so healthy that nothing can ever affect us, but unfortunately, as a nurse, I've seen that happened when it really shouldn't have. So my encouragement today is many of your healthcare providers offer free flu shots, or they have flu clinics going on right now. So please do get your flu shot. Thank you.
Commissioner Allen. Our next report will be on fraud. Commissioner Hagee, please.
I'd like you to try to get a piece of paper and a pencil, perhaps. You'd like to write some of these things down. There are going to be some key dates and that you may want to record. If you're like me, my memory is kind of going with each year or each birthday. My memory goes a little more. So paper and pen would be a good idea for you. We've all been exposed to a scam at one time or another. And I had a conversation with Sheriff's Deputy Tim Lohman, who is in charge of the fraud and scams that are going on in Thousand Oaks area. And he's going to be giving a free lecture tomorrow, if you have a flexible schedule, tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the Camarillo City Hall. So if you're free tomorrow, this would be something that's really good to for you to attend. So that's October 6th, tomorrow at 10 a.m., Camarillo City Hall. And for those of you that like to have a little longer planning on your calendar, November 30th, 6:30 p.m. in the evening, right here at the Thousand Oaks Library. All right, so that's November 30th, 6:30 p.m., Thousand Oaks Library. And his presentation will cover a lot of things. For example, the current scams that he's dealing with here in Thousand Oaks, the grandparent scam, The IRS scam, those may be more familiar to you. I've had both of those approaches. The romance scam. Social networks are really predatory, and those of you that are on social networks, don't panic. You just have to be very, very careful. Then there's a lottery scam. There's a kidnap scam. That kind of worried me the most, because you get a phone call, "Grandma, I'm in trouble," and the first thing you say is that you, Sandy? Now they know your granddaughter's name, okay? Then yes, and Sandy, sit down over there. If we need $30,000, or we're going to be really starting to beat up on your granddaughter, and they scare the bejabbers out of you, and you rush down and send them $30,000. They may ask you for a credit card number, or ask you to send a wire them $30,000. But it's surprisingly, these guys are good. Seniors are prime targets for scam. They are excellent at what they do. They're professionals. They pride themselves on this, and they earn a lot of money doing it. Few tips that I gleaned from Deputy Lohman I'll share with you. However, for the full lecture, try to attend one of his presentations. It runs about an hour, a little over an hour long, and you can get the full Monty, as it were. Here are a few tips. He emphasized listening very carefully. Scammers are professionals. They're very good at what they do. You need to verify everything. Verify, verify, verify. Tell them you will call them back. At that point, they usually hang up. Okay? Say, "Hey, give me your phone number. I'll give you a call back." Boom. Then you call your granddaughter and you find out she's fine. She's at home doing her homework like she should be. Give them no information. A thing as simple as your birth date can open all kinds of doors for them. So you got to be very careful. You don't give any information out. Their goal is to get money from you. Checks, money order, cash, credit card number. They want information. Zip code. All these things are important. It's amazing what they can do with a little bit of information. That which leads me to the November Consumer Reports. Has a great article on 66 ways to your privacy right now. Protect your privacy. You want to protect your privacy from on your cell phone, your smartphone. They even have smart TVs now. And this magazine has 66 excellent suggestions for you to improve, to safeguard your data. Data milling, that's another scam, another fraud is data milling. They collect all the data they can from you and then use it to extract other information and get money from you. Money, money, money. What I plan to do is each week under the commissioner, either the commissioner reports or the commissioner comments, I'll try to enlighten you with one of the latest scams that are being perpetrated. And I intend to go to Deputy Tim Lohman's workshop here in November 30th. So I hope I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Hagee. That was very informative. Our next commissioner report is new this month, and it is Commissioner Maria is going to research our local social service agencies, the places that you can go to when you need help, and talk to us about them every month. So it's really important that we know what's already available for us. Today, she's going to talk about one that's really near and dear to my heart, the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Commissioner Maria.
Thank you, Commissioner Healy. I did want to take a minute to talk about an excellent program that I'm just learning about, which is the Ventura County Ombudsman's Program. It's been around since 1981, but unless you need the service, you're not always aware that it's out there. It was founded by two women back then, and they had a mission that they wanted to ensure the highest quality of life and care possible for elderly in long-term care. And in 1991, the state of California actually made them a model program. What makes the Ventura County program so outstanding is they've really enhanced the facility visitation plan. There are federal requirements, and right now the federal requirements are that there's one annual visit per facility. But the founders in Ventura set the following. They said that all skilled nursing facilities would be monitored a minimum of once a week, and all assisted living facilities would be monitored a minimum of once a month. So it's a significant difference. They're operating right now, there's 4 staff, and they're operating with 50 state-certified volunteers, and that's what they're using to service 234 long-term care facilities that are in the county. The volunteers are actual advocates for the residents. They're not there to represent families. They're not there to represent the facilities. They're there for the residents. They're assigned facilities to monitor. They're state certified. They're there to make sure that the facilities are clean and hazard-free and that everyone's being provided the appropriate care. What I'd like to do now is just take a moment. I know Commissioner Healy is actually a volunteer, so I'd like her to share some of her real-time experiences.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Maria. I volunteered in a number of different places, different ways, and this probably is the most meaningful thing that I have ever done. In this role, you go into facilities. It can be a small assisted living, which would be called a board and care. It's got 6 beds. You can go into a big assisted living, which can be 100, 150 rooms. Or you can have a skilled nursing facility, which is where people need more care. They need actual skilled nursing. One of the reasons that it's so important, as Commissioner Maria said, we are advocates for the residents. And one thing that I never knew until I did this was 60% of people that are in California long-term care facilities of any type have no visitors at all. So try to picture yourself one day sitting in a place day after day and no one comes to see you. And even worse, if your neighbor happens to be the person with the most popular family around and people are always there. I've heard that so many times. So it's really a critical thing. I think most of the homes do a very good job, but it's really important to have somebody advocate for you if you are reasonably unable to advocate for yourself. So if anybody, they do use volunteers. There's a week training. One of our audience members is also a volunteer with me. It is probably the most rewarding where you really know that you made a difference in a person's life by doing this job. So if anybody's interested in learning more about it, certainly you can contact me, contact Council on Aging, and we will get you that information. So, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I did want to close out. In addition to the visits, the site visits, there are services that the organization provides. If you're looking for yourself or for a family member and you're starting to look into nursing homes, they do have a very extensive checklist that you can use to make sure that you're asking all the right questions and getting all the proper information. Obviously, they're there to respond and investigate to complaints and problems that come up on behalf of the residents. There's pre-placement counseling so that you can get an idea of what what life in the facilities are going to be like. And also, they can provide information on caregiver support groups. So, as Nancy said, it's an extremely rewarding experience to be a volunteer. They operate mostly on volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteering, I'd encourage everyone to visit their website, at least just to get familiar with the organization and what they offer. And the website is www.ombudsmanventura.org, or you can call them at 805-656-1986.
Thank you very much. That was an excellent report. It really was great. Summed it up better than I could after 8 years of being there. So anyway, I will turn it back over to Chair Fotheringham.
Thank you. Item 6 on our agenda are liaison reports, liaison with several organizations we are affiliated with in the county. The first of these is the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. At our recent meeting, the VCAAA had a report on a new law that is going to take effect in January 1st. If you or someone in your family is on Medicaid, you may be aware that the state currently can go after your estate to recover money that it's given you while you were alive and receiving Medicaid benefits to try to recover some of those benefits. So if your house is sold and so forth after your death and so forth, the state can go after that money. The new law has removed most of your estate from that risk and so forth. So if you're currently on Medicaid, there's very little that the state can go after now after you pass away. In particular, anything that you have in a trust and so forth is now protected from the state's efforts to recapture it and so forth. So this is good news for any of you who are family members of people who are on Medicaid. You may actually get to see some of that estate. Our next report is on the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program, and Rick Tanaka is here to give us that report.
Thank you, Chair Fotheringham. I just want to sort of continue in line with what Commissioner Maria was expressing about the social services in the area and talk about HICAP, the Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program. Conejo Senior Volunteer Program typically takes appointments to meet with HICAP counselors one-on-one throughout the year. You may or may not be familiar with this. You can always call our office at 805-381-2742 in order to set up an appointment, with the exception of right now as open enrollment is approaching. With open enrollment, there will be the Medicare one-stop shops taking place at the Global Adult Community Center. So HICAP counseling appointments are no longer available. Instead, you'll be setting up an appointment to meet with a counselor at one of the one-stop shops. There will be 4 dates approaching. In order to do so, you're going to need to come to the center and pick up your forms and complete those and send them back to the HICAP office out in Ventura. And the information on sending those forms back is there with the packet that you'd pick up. It's your chance to get the answers to your questions on Medicare coverage at the one-stop shop. HICAP counselors will run a prescription drug plan comparison and help you with a prescription drug plan that is best for you. You can find out more information about this and other items regarding Medicare open enrollment at one of the 2 seminars that are coming up at the Global Adult Community Center. They're going to be reviewing coverage and the changes which will occur in 2017, with emphasis on Medicare Part D prescription drug plans and any changes you may need to make. There's going to be a seminar on October 7th and another one on October 7th and another one on October 14th. For either of these, you need to call the Global Adult Community Center in order to reserve a seat. The phone number there is 805-381-2744. This is coming right up, so it's best to be prepared. These services are here to help you do that. Another item with Conejo Senior Volunteer Program that I'm very excited to announce is the number of volunteer opportunities that we've come across over the past few months. And we've been sending out announcements of these new opportunities to currently enrolled CSVP volunteers. These are opportunities that come up with our partner agencies throughout the community. As we find out what their volunteer needs are, we can then announce those opportunities to our volunteers. We've received great response, but I'm just concerned that there are other people out there in the community that would be interested in these volunteer opportunities and may not be receiving these notifications. So I would encourage you to, if you have not already signed up with CSVP, to do so. You can call us at 805-381-2742 in order to do that, or even call us just to check the status of your profile in our system. That way we can be sure to send those notifications out to you. There's a lot of great opportunities out there that will be very fulfilling for those that are ready to step up and participate in those. One more thing that I'm especially excited to announce is Wellness Fest is going to be coming right up at the Global Center. It's going to be on January 18th. This is the event, the biggest event for the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program, and we're excited to announce we have some big sponsors that have confirmed participation and quite a few vendors that have also signed up. We're going to have some great health screenings and activities, and they're going to be going in line with the island theme that will be taking place this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be very informative and beneficial to the participants and the vendors alike, for everyone to get together and just have a better understanding of what services there are out there in the community, and bring people together in that way. It'll be a lot of fun. So for more information on that, or if you're interested in sponsoring or being a vendor, please call 805-381-2742. Thank you so much. Oh. The date of this event is January 18th.
Rick, if I convinced anybody about the value of being a long-term care ombudsman, it was through CSVP that I started doing that 8 years ago. So they have so many opportunities, things dealing directly with people, dealing with envelopes, dealing with whatever you think would be your best fit. So,
thank you, Commissioner Healy.
All right, thank you, Rick. Commissioner Norkin, do you have anything to add on the Global Center?
I'm sorry I don't have a report today.
But I'm happy to announce that I work at the Global Adult Community Center. I'm Rick Tanaka, Director of the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program. My office is at the Global Center. I'm here on behalf of Patty Ham, the supervisor, today to tell you about some of the fun and exciting things that are taking place over there. Coming up, there's always so much going on over there. Coming up, we've got on Sunday, October 16th from 2 to 2:30, the Global Senior Center Commission's History Comes Alive series presents Julie Tumamiat. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correct. From Acorns to Tomals, the life and times of the Chumash. Tickets are on sale at the front desk at Global for $5 or can be purchased at the door. Additionally, on Saturday, October 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 12, Los Robles Hospital will be offering the free seasonal immunization shots at the Global Center. As Commissioner Allen pointed out, this is something that you should be aware of, and you should consider. Free flu clinics are for healthy people age 60-plus years old and those who are 18-plus years with a chronic illness, caregivers, or healthcare workers. That's what's being offered at the center on this day. If you have hypersensitivity to eggs or have a serious illness, please see your physician for immunization. You can sign up for this service at the Global Center or call 805-381-2744 for more information. Also, Saturday, October 29th at 5 p.m., come eat, drink, and be scary at Global's Halloween party. Guests will enjoy dinner, dancing, and a costume contest. As you can see, I'm wearing my costume now. Purchase tickets at the front desk for $9 per person. It's going to be a great time. Patty does a great job of putting these events together. One more thing I'd like to throw in. Global staff is creating a slideshow for our upcoming Veterans Day breakfast and USO show on November 11th. We would love to share photos of our seniors in uniform while serving our country. Please bring us photos of you and or your loved ones to the Global front desk for us to make a copy. If you submitted a photo last year, please resubmit this year. Tickets can be picked up for the USO show and breakfast at the front desk beginning October 26th. Tickets are free with a 4-ticket limit per person. And there's many other things taking place, but these are some of the highlights I wanted to point out for you today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Right, item 7 on our agenda are commissioner comments. Any commissioners have a comment today? Yes, Commissioner Gorbuck.
Thank you very much. You know, I just wanted to put in a quick plug for this year's, the 10th anniversary of the Thousand Oaks Reads program, the One City, One Book program. And this year's book that everyone is reading is called Grandma Gatewood's Walk. And I just finished it last weekend and turned in my copy back to the library so you can check it out. And it's by Ben Montgomery, and it's the true story of a senior, 57 years old, in 1955, who walks the Appalachian Trail alone. First woman to do that alone. And, you know, I wasn't sure I would like the book because, I'm not a hiker. I don't go camping. I mean, ew. And, you know, so I wasn't sure that but I really enjoyed this book, and you need to read this because, as with most really good literature, the compelling thing about the book is the theme. it's a true story, so the hiking story is interesting, of course. But the theme is that regardless of your age, you can do anything you put your mind to. And the power of perseverance is within all of us. That's the theme that really resonated with me. And so whether you have a goal of going back to school or becoming a realtor or building a piece of furniture or finally getting a patent for your invention or writing a novel, regardless of your goal, Emma Greenwood reminds us that we simply need to put one foot in front of the other, right? And start today. And that's a theme I think can resonate with all of us. Thank you very much.
You didn't mention the plans for your next camping trip. Any other comments? Mr. Allen?
I also wanted to point out that in this issue of the Buzz, Harry has put some health tips from the Harvard Health newsletter, and they're very helpful, very good tips. But I just wanted to point out that ibuprofen and Tylenol aren't the same medication, and the way it was printed in the newsletter, it made it look like Tylenol was another name for ibuprofen, and they're two separate meds. One kills your liver, the other kills your the other kills your kidneys. So you don't want to take either of them too long. So anyway, they are two different meds, and I think they meant to put an "and" in there. Thank you.
Other comments? All right, I'd like to turn the floor over now to Commissioner Mortimer, who will introduce our guest speaker today.
Hi, our guest speaker today is Heather Cousins from the Thousand Oaks Library. Heather was named Library Services Director in 2015. She's worked in libraries, serving in every capacity from page to director. Over this past year, Heather has been impressed with the level of support the library receives from the community and the exemplary work of its staff. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Mortimer, and thank you to the Council on Aging. I am so happy to be here today because you've invited me to talk about my favorite topic, which is libraries, so thank you. And we've talked before at various meetings. I've met with each of you kind of on the side about lifelong learning, and that really is what the library is all about. We have everything for every age and stage, and we always like to say that, but the thing that makes our library unique and special here in Thousand Oaks is just the wealth of resources that we have available to us. And just to give you kind of context, here's what our library used to be. We used to be serviced by the Ventura County system. We had both the traveling branch and we had our actual physical branch up on Wilbur Road. And I don't know if any of you remember it. It was before I got here, but I'm seeing some heads nodding. So yes, definitely do remember it. And then in 1983, as you'll see on the left side of your screen, that was the Grant Brim Hall. Well, at that time, it was the TO Library on Jans Road, and part of that now is named the Grant Brim Hall Library. So what do we offer? We have gone these 30-plus years offering a variety of things. And one of the things about the library, as Commissioner Gorbach was talking about, is that theme of reinvention. And we have gone from offering the books and being very book-focused to offering a wider variety of resources, including things like DVDs, thanks to the support of our Library Foundation, and things like audiobooks. And the neat thing about having this wide breadth and depth of a collection is that it serves the wide-ranging interests and needs of our community. And one of those things in particular, our e-book collection is especially important, and our e-audiobook collection is especially important because it's something that's customizable. For those of you who are used to using e-books and e-audiobooks, there are functions there for people who have low vision or hearing challenges. Any age, doesn't matter. You can adjust the screen to your preference. So, yes, we have large print collections. Yes, we have assistive listening device collections. But the neat thing is you can also get those things in a downloadable format from wherever you happen to be at the time, as long as you have access to the Internet, which we also have at the library. And what we also offer, too, that thing that makes us unique and special, are all of the programs that we offer. There's over 1,000 programs a year, and that's for everyone, children, adults, and teens. And those things range from intergenerational programs. As you see, that middle shot there is our Hour of Code program. One of my best moments in that program was watching a grandchild, teach their grandparent how to code. And the excitement on that grandparent's face when she learned how to make that little icon jump, that was worth the day. And as people are familiar with and used to, yes, we still offer story time, and we offer literacy and enrichment courses for our youngest visitors. And we also offer something that not a lot of places do, although I'm so glad that you talked about it today with the senior volunteer program, is with our Conejo Valley Genealogical Society, as well as our foundation and our friends group. There are lots of opportunities to volunteer at the library. And we're also looking and exploring new ways to serve the community that will be very reliant on volunteers. So we're also out there actively seeking those volunteers, especially the ones that have particular skill sets and interests. And that's usually our seniors, that our retirees that have the most experience and offer the most to our community. Now, she got it right, hit it right on the mark. Commissioner Gorbach talked about the 10th anniversary of Thousand Oaks Reads. That is one of those programs that was designed to bring the community together, and it's actually worked out that way in practice. And this year's title, as Commissioner Gorbach mentioned, is one of those extraordinary titles that crosses all generations, crosses both all genders, all interest levels. You've got the outdoors people, not Commissioner Gorbach, but you've got the outdoors people, you've got the more say introverted or book-friendly people. It really is a fantastic program, and we're offering, thanks to the support of our friends and foundation, a month-long series of programs. And actually this Saturday we're going to hike at Paramount Ranch. So if you want to join us, you can be out there at 9 a.m. and beat the heat and get to see a beautiful place with lots and lots of history. Now, the other thing that we've also offered that's a little different for libraries is we joined in the MakerBox Collective, and that's that icon that you see on the right side of your screen. That collective brought together a number of different libraries throughout Ventura County, and they were successful in getting a grant to support 3D makerspaces and STEM and STEAM programming. So we actually, prior to this, we had one 3D printer, and I'm going to hold up one of the things that we've made with that 3D printer, which, if you need a hand, the library can provide one for you. We've actually built that, as well as this neat ball. And while these things are cool and interesting and neat, they actually serve a very important purpose. Not only are they teaching tools, but they're also research and development tools. Those 3D printers that we have actually been used by businesses in our community to prototype things that they would ordinarily have to send out for and wait and spend considerable sums of money. Well, now they can do that right here in the Thousand Oaks Library. They can do that research and development right here. There's a spot on our website where you can put in and give us your prototype instructions, and we can try and design that for you. It's done at a very nominal cost. It only takes the only thing that you pay for is the cost of the materials involved. So there's a plastic filament, of course. There's a charge for that we pass along. But as I said, it's very nominal, and it's a way that the library can provide that service of not just giving you the information, but carrying it forward. You can create and start that business. You can create that idea, see that thing in real life, put it in a 3D model, and move forward from there. So it's just another way that we can provide even more enhanced services. And the other way that we do that is we have a number of different in-person services that you can take part in, like our Book a Librarian. This is really a key service. It's about a half-hour appointment you can set up with one of our librarians, and they will go over anything you need in terms of research. If there's a particular topic of interest to you and you're not quite connecting with those resources that we have online, and we have about 90 databases, so there are millions and millions of items, articles, videos, downloadables, all kinds of things. All of that can get a little overwhelming when you're trying to research and you're trying to pinpoint some very specific items. So you can book special time with one of our library staff, and they'll actually walk you through the process, and hopefully you're going to leave with the information that you need. But if not, you can always come back, and we've got more for you. And the other thing that we do is we offer small-size classes. So if there are things that you want to know about technology and you don't have anyone who can show you wherever you are, you can make an appointment. You can come in, take one of our classes. We teach everything from basic Microsoft Office products like Word and PowerPoint and Excel, up through searching online for different topics, and things like creating a LinkedIn profile, working with social media, and doing it in a way, as Councilmember Hagee remarked, doing it in a way that's protective as well. So keeping yourself safe online, all of that's included. So how do we do that? Well, we have a staff of about 109 very, very dedicated people, and they provide most of that instruction. But one of the things that we also do to provide the highest level of service to everyone is we partner with lots and lots of organizations. Not only do we have those wonderful allied agencies like the Friends and Foundation, the Conejo Valley Genealogical Society, but we work with Cal Lutheran University, Channel Islands University, Cal State Channel Islands, the Conejo Valley Unified School District, Conejo Las Virgenes Future Foundation. I mean, the list is kind of endless, which is exactly what we want. What we're trying to do is bring the experts to you, so you can come to the library. Through our partnerships, you can work with those people that maybe you can't get out and reach out to individually. Now, how do you do this? Well, all of this is actually a great return on investment because you already pay for the library. Whether you're a resident of Thousand Oaks or you simply shop here or dine here, you've already paid for it. So all you really need to do is get a library card. And for all of that programming, you don't even need a library card. You can just show up and sample us, try us out, and see if you like it. We've started something new last year where you can actually sign up for your library card online. So anywhere, again, where you have access to the internet, you can log into tolibrary.org, and you'll see the link there to get your library card. So if you don't have one, you can sign up online, and that gives you immediate access to all of our online resources. So those ebooks, e-audiobooks, all of those articles, downloadables, videos. We actually have video downloadable online. That's just the library card. That's all you need to do. Now, if you want to come in and get access to our print materials, you've got time to do that. Once you sign up online, you just drop in and we'll make sure that we've got that card ready for you. And then, as I was saying before, and as some of you have mentioned, we're always looking for ways to give back to the community. And our two most ardent supporters are our Friends and Foundation. Our Thousand Oaks Library Foundation, one of their biggest initiatives is to support the American Radio Archives and our local history collection. That's housed partly in our archives building, but it's such a huge collection dealing primarily with the early days of radio that there's actually pieces of that collection in several different locations. So you can just imagine of how much depth and breadth that has. And they've been developing that for about the past 30 years, just connecting with different positive radio groups that would like to help out and make sure that their collections are preserved. And then, of course, our Friends of the Thousand Oaks Library, who do what most Friends of the Library do, which is collect donations on our behalf. And they do that primarily through used books. And then they turn around and sell those books. And if any of you happen to be at the Newberry Park Library last Friday night, you couldn't find a parking spot. And you couldn't find a parking spot because it was taken up with all the people at the book sale. And they do a very large book sale twice a year, as well as their ongoing daily sales. And those support our programming. Everything that you donate, either donating your items or giving us that cash to pick up a great found treasure in their collection, that actually goes right back into the library and programming, or like in the case of the foundation, that goes back into supporting those collections that they house. So with that, I'd like to thank you again for your support, for asking me here today, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Are there any questions from the commissioners? Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Couple of things. I have had an idea in my head for an invention for years and years and years. And it's a very simple item. And am I to understand that this very simple item can be printed out on your 3D printer? How? So I simply need to go online and describe or draw out what this simple item looks like, and it can be printed up?
Depending on what it is. I mean, our 3D printers are pretty robust, so there's a lot that they can handle. But depending on what it is, it's quite possible that we could print up that idea that you've had and give you a 3D model. I mean,
it's not even that complicated.
Hand,
it's not that complicated.
If we can make a hand, we might be able to make what you have in mind too.
You know what I think is so interesting? I think we are just at the very, very surface of learning about the functionality of 3D printing. I think in the future we're going to see a lot of medical uses and be able to print out body parts and organs, and so it's really, really fascinating. I attended a class at the library last week in which we were taught how to fold pages of a book to make it into an art project that looked like a star. Fascinating. And there are so many things. I have family in Arizona, and I'm always telling them about all the different things I go to at the library, and it's just such a treasure. Someone could be busy just about every day and night with all the free and low-cost things to do at the library. So I just want to thank you and your staff because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen by accident. It takes people to put these things together, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And you're absolutely right, Commissioner Korbach. That is really our mission, and it's what drives us forward. There is something just about every day going on. I came out of my office this morning to see a whole crowd of children under the age of 3, which is exactly what I want to see at 11 o'clock in the morning, because nothing can start your day better. They were out there waiting for a story time. But when you talk about the possibilities with 3D printing and how much that is just in its infancy, that's really something that's exciting for us. We're getting in at the beginning of it, and we're making these opportunities available. Today it's making a hand, or it's making a library coin, something very simple and unsophisticated perhaps. But that may plant the seed that someday that person, and it's not always a child, it could be an adult, it could be a senior, gets the idea and can move that forward in the technology as quickly as it's moving ahead. You might be part of that group that actually gets to experiment with that 3D printer that can create the body parts. The library is not quite there yet, but we make a model of a hand. So we're on our way. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Heather, I think we talked about this before, but you guys have a program now also that I do all my reading now on my Kindle or my iPad. Oh, sorry. All my reading on my Kindle or my iPad. And you have a program that people can download from your system?
That's
correct.
Could
you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Commissioner Healy. We do, and I actually brought my iPad with me, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. But as I had mentioned previously, we do have downloadables. We have thousands and thousands of ebooks in particular, but we also have articles, downloadable video and audio. And one of the things that's unique about that, or nice about that, is it is something where if you have any issues with vision or hearing, it's customizable. So regardless of age, those issues can crop up, and you can make the print larger, you can darken the screen if that's easier, you can brighten the screen. So it's a lot more it provides a lot more flexibility than a traditional book does. In addition to the e-audio collection, or e-book collection and e-audio collection, as I said, we have downloadable videos, we have all of the articles, and we're adding to it every day. It's one of our most popular pieces of our collection, and the nicest part about it is you can be anywhere in the world. As long as you have access to the internet, you can log on to our website and download a book. If you have a long plane flight, you just download the book to your device, and there you go. You've got your reading for the next couple of hours. And it's something that is included with that expensive library card, which, as I said, is completely free.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Allen?
Speaking of library cards, some of us may have gotten our library card 30 years ago when we first moved to Thousand Oaks, some of us seniors. Are they still valid, or should we go and get a new library card?
That's a great question, Commissioner Allen. It actually is probably still valid. Especially if you've been using your card, you don't have to come in every week and use it or go online every week and use it. But if you've used it on occasion throughout the years, I would say probably in the past 3 years, we still have you in our database. So you wouldn't have to replace that classic card with a new one. But if you wanted to, you certainly could. And one of the advantages with our newer card is that there's also that keychain option. So you can always keep that on you and keep the larger one at home. Or for those, especially seniors who maybe can't drive to the library or don't have regular transportation, you could also offer to give one part of that library card to someone who could come in and pick up your items for you. And all that would take is just a letter from you letting us know that we have your permission to give them your items. And so that way it's kind of like what used to be called a homebound program. But you can have a friend or a trusted family member come and pick up items for you, and there you go. You've got your own little bookmobile.
Yes.
Just one more thing very quickly. One of the downloadables that I became hooked on a couple years ago was the magazine collection called Zinio. Oh my gosh, when you're standing in line at the grocery store and all the magazines. Now, I'm not saying that I personally read the Hollywood gossip magazines, but if I did, which I actually do, they're downloadable and they're free. And I don't know if any of you ever read Cosmo, but that's kind of an expensive magazine, but it's downloadable and it's free. I mean, just amazing. So thank you again for providing these really outrageously really wonderful resources.
Well, you're very welcome. And one of the things that we've found, especially with the magazine collection, is, as you can imagine, it takes up a lot of space. But as magazines and, say, our reference materials, as we move forward with increasing technology just as a society and as a culture, a lot of those things have ceased print publication. So those things have migrated online. So even if you might not see a print copy of something in the library, checking out our online collection is really the best way to kind of follow up on that and make sure that those resources are still available. And if you're not seeing what you want, and I'm glad that you are, Commissioner Gorbach, but if you're not seeing what you want, that's something we want to know too. We have a suggestion for purchase piece on our website, and also you can always just call us or come in and let us know, hey, I remember seeing something, whatever it might have been. I don't see it anymore. What happened? Or, I heard about something and I don't see it on your shelves. That's something we can take care of for you. We can, if we don't have it, we can find someone who does, or maybe we can even purchase it for you and have it available to the whole community.
You mentioned the Genealogical Society. Are there other subject matter interest groups that seek a relationship with the library to help them maintain materials that their members might have an interest in?
Well, thank you for that question, Commissioner Fotheringham. We do, from time to time, have different organizations. Right now, our primary one is the Genealogical Society, but we've been approached by a variety of different organizations, primarily in the area of programming. But there are also, there is some interest in, we've noticed you could use more information in this area or that area. So we do get those inquiries from time to time, and we do our best to field them, and hopefully we can make that connection and make that partnership so that we can have even more available to the community.
And I suspect that most of us have donated books to the library at one time or another, and you mentioned the book sale as a means of converting that into cash. But I've also heard over the years that sort of libraries communicate with one another and have maybe a wish list of things that maybe a new library would like to have, and you get involved in trading materials, or even your own wish list for a special interest group. Are there other things in the book sale that you use donated materials for?
That's a really good question. We actually currently don't trade in that way. We do have something called an interlibrary loan program. So if there's a very specific type of item or topic that just isn't available or may not be widely read or widely circulated, or it's a very, very specific item, we do have a network of libraries that we partner with, and we will request items on behalf of the public. But as far as our donations, we haven't really done that in recent years. Those things that are donated to us go straight to our friends. They evaluate it, price it, put it on our shelves, and then they go out. The other thing that they do, though, that's really taken off in about the past, I want to say, year to 18 months, has been their online sales. They actually get between $3,000 and $5,000 a month in online sales. Yes, that just kind of take your breath away. There are a lot of people online who are looking for the very specific things that our community donates, and they do turn that right around back into the library. So they've supported things like our saltwater aquarium, like I said before, our programming, and a number of other different initiatives. And it's been really helpful. I hope that answered your question.
How do the online sales work? Do they mail you the book, or do you come to the library to pick up a book that you purchased?
No, they actually mail them. They go through Amazon.com, and there's a link that they have there to our friends of the library. If you're looking for a particular item, you can shop the store.
Right. Any other questions, comments? All right. We'd like to thank you very much for a very enlightening discussion today. So,
thank you.
All right, and with that, we'll adjourn our meeting.